You look like some trouble I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it. So pull up in a drop top, baby send an addy. Hit it from the back cause I know you got a fatty. Yeah, sipping on some rock fucking natty. Got me in her mouth, I'm my new favorite candy. Double G where the waist is. She don't mess around with no basic. Roll me up a blunt, gotta face it. Just another weekend getting faded. Gotta stay away from the fake shit. They gon' say they love you when they hatin'. The rats gon' lead where the snakes is. The demons gon' lead you to Satan. You look like some trouble I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it. So you look like some trouble I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do it. So lines and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya. Lines and tequila, can't forget the reefer. Always call my phone, but say nothing when I see ya. You look like the gym, your favorite hobby. Swear you the baddest at the party. Two-turn to go right in the Audi. She gon' ride it like a Kawasaki. Anything you can do, I can do better. You got the juice, but the sauce is forever. Shopping at Marshalls, I buy Gucci sweater. Just spend a rack on my mace and my jealous. That bitch body, skin tone, looking like she came from the island. Off-white, fashion over, never needed stylist. Love getting high, that's my new co-pilot.
What is going on, everybody? Happy motherfucking Friday. It's your favorite day of the week, and it is your favorite show of the week. Welcome to the All Sauce team. My name is Sweatpant Jesus.
Here's VSaaauce gang. Thank you all for coming out.
And I don't have a cool thing to say. I'm just Sukh.
Yeah, dude, Sukh. All right, so guys, just so you guys know, Sukh is our honorary third horseman now. We have a third co-host. Obviously, we're so excited to have Sukh along for the party for the rest of the NBA season, the rest of the conference finals, and then the finals. I'm gonna have to throw you in the intro, brother. I have to get your face up.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Sukh's gonna be on here now from now until the end of the season. Then we're gonna keep him on here when we all make an attempt to cap baseball and WNBA over the dog days of summer.
Dude, this show's gonna turn into some wild stuff.
Degeneracy takes no days off. I can tell you that.
I can't wait. I can't wait to start hearing the WNBA plays come out of your mouth. I'm so excited. Don't tell me. Are you an NBA? Are you a WNBA sharp, Sukh?
No, I have no idea. I just know that they're girls.
Hey, that's a good thing. Good start.
We'll have to get Coins on here. Coins have been taking a dabble in with the WNBA, so I have to have him on here. Give us some locks.
Hey man, the season started today. Obviously, there are bigger spreads in the WNBA, but props are to be had. It's to be bet on. So we have to dive in. So anyway, wait.
I was just gonna say, Paul, the beers are not a requirement, but it definitely helped his resume. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's whenever you interview for the show, you have to show up with at least a stubble.
At least a stubble, right?
Just a little bit. We appreciate you guys being here. Also, Lando, so happy you're here, brother. Not even gonna comment on all the swirl of bullshit happening around all the bullshit, but we're happy you're here, and we're happy you're part of the party. Yep. Exactly. So we appreciate all the trolling. So get after it. Yeah. So obviously only one game tonight, guys, but it's a big one. Game 2, Celtics Heat in TD Garden. Game 1 did not go the way both of these gentlemen wanted it to. It didn't go the way that I thought it was going to myself. It might be a little bit of a different story tonight, but we were going to talk all about this game. I have 3 plays in this game. Which is pretty spicy. I actually wrote about this game too. If you want to go if you want to go read about it, obviously we're going to talk all about it, but you want to go read about it on bettingnews.com. Wrote all about it. Wrote about my favorite play, my favorite prop, et cetera, et cetera. So go give that a read if you like.
Definitely give these a read, because like not just the plays that he talks about, he gives you a lot of insight into just how he's seeing things, the way he's seeing things, and why he likes a certain play, and most of that stuff is applicable to most games.
It does help you. I think it helps with like just understanding how to look at these games from a capping perspective, because it's not just
what the hell is my doll?
For cramps.
Oh shit.
Menstrual cramps.
Oh
yeah. W comment. Yeah. Thanks, V. Appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, please go give him a read. I mean, obviously, reading is something that is a little bit of a lost art sometimes. People don't love to read the scribbles, but I try to make them interesting. So go give it a check it out. All right, before we get into let's go. All right, so I had so much issues sending the t-shirt, which is I'm wearing right here, as you can see. I sent those to our buddies at Owner's Box, and they still haven't gotten them because the Canadian Post sucks ass. But really happy to know that that Paul has received his hoodie. So I'm excited for you to see it, brother. I sent you an extra large. Hope that will do the job. We'll see what happens. And then VSauauce will have his own as well. Whenever I'm able to get to the next post office to send it to you. Sukh, we'll have to get you something sorted out too, brother. But I was saying, these gentlemen, before we get going, actually I'm dabbling in the design lab for some all sauce team apparel as well. So be on the lookout for that.
And I will tell y'all, it's the things he's been coming up with so far, pretty fuego. So be excited.
Pretty excited. Pretty spicy. It's this type of stuff that, like, obviously, we love you guys supporting us, and we love you guys supporting Betting News, everything that we're doing. But this one is something that actually you want to throw on, and you want to wear it, especially in the summer. So I'm excited to have that going on. All right, before we get going, before we talk about this game, let's play everybody's favorite game. Oh, I forgot this real quick. Limes and Tequila by our buddy Taffy. Go check it out. Instagram and TikTok at TaffyFit. That's the song you heard at the beginning. You'll hear it at the end. It's every single Friday. It's the Friday banger. So go give him a follow as well. We appreciate him letting us use his tunage. All right, let's play Smash or Pass. Oh yeah, the Friday vibes are high. Been really digging. So next week, just to let you guys know, we're going to get a little spicier with Smash or Pass, because now that Sukh has joined the program every single Friday, he's got some Smash or Pass ideas. So you guys are going to have to tune in next week to see what Sukh is going to cook up for Smash or Pass. But today you're stuck with my boring old bullshit. So today, which I'm excited to hear what V has to say about a couple of these. So today we're going to talk about ESPN anchors or personalities.
This is going to be
about
good.
Whether you would smash or pass. A couple of them are female, so appropriately smash or pass on these ESPN analysts.
Their takes, not on
their takes, not them individually. Yes, they're on their takes and the way that they do their job. Let's start with this one. Yeah, exactly. Numero uno. Scott Van Pelt, SVP. Gents, would you smash or pass on Mr. Scott Van Pelt?
So I'll let you start, because I know you've got feelings for SVP.
I'm gonna pass.
Really?
I don't know. He's just there. You know what I mean? He's on SportsCenter. He's got his little logo and everything. But I cannot remember any takes of his that I liked or didn't like. He's just very vanilla.
Fair. Honestly, I would smash just because of that same reason Sukh said. There's none of his takes I remember stand out that were just so stupid that you consistently see on the timeline. He's just that kind of guy who talks basketball or football, whatever sport he's discussing, and then flies under the radar because it's not clickbaity bullshit. So I'll smash.
Yeah.
Facts. All right. First of all, interesting fact about SVP, if you guys didn't know this, the man is ginormous. He's like my height. He's 6'5". He's humongous. He also has huge hands. If you ever watch him next time on ESPN, watch when he pulls his hands up on the screen. Homie's got massive hands. I like Scott Van Pelt. I'll smash. I mean, he's not my favorite. But I do think he does a good job. He reports adequately. Also gained massive respect for SVP when he covered the DeMar Hamlin situation, because that happened live. And then he had to cover the post action of that with interviewing Ryan Clark and stuff like that. I mean, A plus on journalism. It was spectacular. It made me really grow in respect for what he does, because you could tell that it was all off the cuff. And that stuff is really, really difficult to do when it's not all completely scripted and laid out. So I really like what he did in that situation and other situations like that. But so I'll give him a smash on that one.
I think it goes back to what you were saying before, that reading is kind of lost reading the articles. And I think good journalism flies under the radar. And I think that's why I don't have a hard opinion on him. Vern doesn't either. But in the chat, and you guys are more clued in on him. And, that kind of sucks that he's not more known, I guess.
Well, he has his own show on ESPN now, and he's been with ESPN for a long time. I mean, I don't know. I think he's vanilla is a good way to describe him, but his voice, I think Landon's point of his voice and his storytelling alone is a good point. So, all right, number 2. This will be an interesting one. I don't know what you guys are going to say. Hannah Storm. Hannah Storm. Smash or pass on Hannah Storm?
I actually don't know Hannah Storm.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Really?
It must be a Canadian
Chat, you guys, chat, do you guys know Hannah Storm? Gotta know Hannah Storm. Hannah Storm is my favorite female analyst on ESPN. She's been with ESPN for quite a while. Really great. I really like her takes. I like the way that she talks. She's very knowledgeable in all of sports. And I think she does a fantastic job, has always done a really good job. Yeah, she does a good job. I think he meant job, but we'll let that one go.
I honestly thought it was an old pic of Jackie McMullen or something. I was tripping.
Also, I like dude, when she was on Around the Horn, when that show used to be good, like she knows her shit for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna do Rachel Nichols, but I decided not to for a few other reasons. But we'll move past this, and we'll get to some of the spicy ones, because this one, actually, we'll do this one first, and I'll save the best for last. Stuart Scott, baby. Smash or pass, Stuart Scott. Rest in peace, obviously.
Hard smash. Going back to the Van Pelt thing, he was a storyteller too.
Mm-hmm. And all the players loved him. All the players loved him. So like the interviews he would get, the conversations he would have with these guys, especially like before social media, was really just, always good content.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Word.
That's a great way to describe.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Word. All right. I smash. Absolute smash. My favorite ESPN analyst, always has been, always will be. Stoney actually got into a conversation with somebody on Twitter the other day, which kind of sparked my mind to do this for today. Talking about Stuart Scott, and I can't remember how the situation came up, but he his commercials were the best. The guy, just like watching him as a kid, like that's ESPN to me. Not the current version of ESPN. That is ESPN to me.
And it's actually kind of funny, because the ESPN we see like Sports Center, and that's like TSN. We don't get ESPN in Canada, especially growing up. So before we had satellite television or just cable, well, there's a lot of these anchors that we didn't see for a long time. At least I didn't myself.
They would throw Stuart Scott on there though when he had his big pieces. So that's how we heard about him. So we have, like, in our brain, we have all these TSN analysts, which is funny because a few of them actually work. I think Nabil Kareem works for TNT now, so it's nice to see those anchors moving on too.
Dan O'Toole and his buddy too, they were working for Fox for a while.
Yeah, Jay Onright. I think one of them is back in Canada now. They got deported.
I'm sorry, guys, that I didn't. I should have thought of the fact that I didn't even know that the fact that the Canadian television, the Canadian anchors, and the Canadian coverage was different than American coverage.
But we've been exposed to most of these guys, I'd say, still. Yeah.
Especially now with social media. I mean, all their takes are online, which is a perfect segue for number 4, which I'm so excited for you guys to talk about. Stephen A. Smith, are you smashing or are you passing, old Stephen A?
Can I just hit him with my car?
Only if you put Colin Cowherd behind him, and then what's his name? Skip Bayless behind him.
Oh my God. Skip Bayless, dude.
I'm convinced all three of them fall into the same category, and none of them watch games. Maybe the fourth quarter, maybe look at box scores after, but they have no idea about what is going on. They don't have the voices that they say they have in the locker room. No one speaks to these guys. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit.
I'm at a loss at what podcast it was, but I was just recently listening to Stephen A. on a podcast, and he was actually being himself. And I was tweeting about this today too. Like he's too committed to the whole bit of being Stephen A. The weed, like this guy's gotta chill, and we're gonna pass on him hard unless he changes. Because on that podcast, he was really smooth, telling like insightful stuff. Like, hey, us anchors, we know what's going on. We know whose girlfriend is gone. We know whose wife's cheating on him. So we'll let up on that guy. We won't talk about him as much. But the other guys that are rude, we will chase. So sometimes when you see like a guy like Westbrook getting piled on by the media, it's because he's combative with the media. if we got that Stephen A. that's giving us insights, we would smash. But he's got his shtick, so pass.
Yeah, he's probably my least favorite. I mean, I the only thing I will say is the man gets paid a lot of money to talk on television to have hot takes. So I mean, he's doing his job, and he's always done his job. I don't think he's stupid. I think he's actually really, really smart. Like you said, I think that most of the things that he does on ESPN, which is probably a bigger conversation about how the main commercialized media sports coverage has just turned into an absolute circus. Is just he's just playing into that narrative. You said it perfectly. He's fitting into that character that got created. That's not the Stephen A. Smith that probably wakes up in the morning and, you know, drinks his coffee or whatever the fuck he does in the morning. Like, that guy is probably interesting. And I think that, that's kind of what you're saying. But yeah, hard pass. He has the worst takes of all time. Right behind Skip Bayless, right behind. I like Colin Cowherd sometimes, but he can also go.
The thing that bothers me, to be honest, about all these guys is, like, you see in the NFL, all the guys covering the NFL are former players, former coaches, former staff members that have been around the game their entire life. With the NBA, we just get dudes that put up headlines and then talk about every other sport. Like, Stephen A. Smith is going to talk about the Cowboys, he's going to talk about the Knicks, he's going to talk about every sport he can. Same with Colin Cowherd, et cetera, et cetera. Where's the specialization? Where's the history? What do they know about basketball? Like, we talked about this last week. I just want to hear more talk about X's and O's. That's why, like Sukh said, the podcast scene has been so much doper. Like, you see PG's podcast is #1, I think, on Spotify amongst all sporting podcasts. Yeah. It's interesting. You see players, you're listening to players talk about other players. They're talking about the game and situations and situational stuff. There's way more insight in that than watching Stephen A. Smith talk about LeBron stopping shooting threes. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, to relate it to what we do. Like, obviously, like, whenever I listen to a capper talk about a game, or like, for some reason, I'm always more inclined to listen to their insight if they've played the sport, or if they have knowledge beyond just watching it on television, because there is something to say about when you actually have physically done the activity to understand what it is to actually have further knowledge in that activity. Like I don't understand how Stephen A. Smith can get into a legitimate argument with, like, JJ Redick and Kendrick Perkins. I know Kendrick Perkins sucks, but, like, you know, you can't. How can he have a legitimate take in comparison to these other guys that played the game at the highest level for the best teams for 5 to 10 to 15 years, however long it was? Like, it's just, your point is spot on for sure.
Yeah, like, you see in the NFL, they draw plays. This is the coverage. This is what they were looking at. 2 high safeties, blah, blah, blah. Where is that in the NBA? Where does it exist? In podcasts. That's it. I used to watch Draymond's podcast exclusively because he used to break down things, and now it's just become a LeBron James fan show. So I'm all out on that.
Send me the link.
I hope
you don't need more of that shit.
I think that I'm hoping that, like, guys like JJ Redick coming on and, like, becoming a part of ESPN. I don't think he's going to be at ESPN very long, but, like, guys like that are smart, played the game, have insight beyond just, like, hey, this guy shoots really well from behind the arc, maybe he can, like, make some threes this game. Like, you know, more than just that. So hopefully that will continue. Kevin Nagandi is a good one from Paul. Yep, I like Kevin Nagandi too. He's a good one. So drop your favorite ESPN analyst. If we didn't talk about it, drop it in chat. Bring it up. See what Rachel Nichols always wins. She's always.
Or your favorite TSN analyst.
Yeah, sorry. Or your favorite TSN analyst for our Canadian friends out there. This would be must see TV right here. Absolute must see television. I'd love to watch. I'm surprised, dude. Watching a roast of Stephen A. Smith would be the greatest thing I think could ever.
There's all NBA players. All NBA players. That would be fun.
God, could you imagine? Oh, they'd have to censor like half of that shit. Yeah,
he loves the attention. Do you remember his beef with Joe Rogan?
Yeah, he does. As long as people are talking about Stephen A. Smith or the things that he is doing, he does not give 7 fucks what you think.
Oh, he wanted a piece of that audience, right? He wanted more eyes, different eyes.
He's, the old adage, no news is bad news, or like the whole thing that, like, no matter what the news is, it's all, as long as you're getting the coverage, that's all that matters.
No publicity is bad publicity, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Like that's Stephen A. Smith in a take right there.
Unless you're John Moran, actually. Fuck.
Oh God! All right, real quick before we talk about this game tonight, because we got plenty of time. There's, and we're not going to run out of time. Ooh, here's one. I don't know who this is. I might have to Google it.
Google.
She is good. She is good.
She good? Okay. I'll have to give her some. I'll watch some YouTube clips. So we got time. Obviously, this game doesn't tip off until 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. So we got a little time. We're not going to be rushed today, which is nice. You guys can listen to us babble for a little bit longer than usual. So funny. I might actually try to get her as a guest on the show, guys, just so you know. We'll see what happens. But we have, so here, real quick, just talk about this. What do you think about Ja? Any thoughts? You guys have some thoughts about his antics?
You can go ahead, Sukh.
I don't want to cause slander, but I've been perusing around on the internet, and I didn't really know this. I don't know how this wasn't a bigger story the first time, but Ja might have a little bit of a substance abuse problem with alcohol. He's known to literally chug Casamigos. He's done it on an IG Live that was on the Grizzlies plane. He's done it after he lost to the Lakers. He was seen doing it in a club. Like, and I don't know, it's not exactly a trusted source, but looking on Reddit one day, I saw some guys writing in the comment thread that anybody that went to Murray State also knew this guy loves to chug tequila. I think, honestly, we shouldn't be angry at this guy. We should be trying to get him help, because clearly he's a great talent. And he doesn't seem that bad. He's not out here fighting with people on the court. He just seems like a good-natured dude dancing after the Lakers loss, like on the way out of the Staples Center or crypto, whatever the fuck. But, you know, like, get this guy some help. Let's not pile on him. He's a kid. I
agree. Yeah. And like the whole story about him dancing or him at the club afterwards, after the Lakers beat them, he's young, man. I get it. Like that, you don't need to sit there and mope for the next 10 hours, the next 48 hours till the next game. You know what I mean? Do what you're going to do and go on about it. But again, like waving around a gun in a car is just never a good idea. I could give a shit less if he owns guns, if he has licenses, if he likes to shoot guns. There's probably a lot of NBA players that have collections of guns that like to go and shoot guns and do that entire thing, right? But you're literally in a car, fuck around with a gun, 2 other people, and then the worst part is why does everything have to be on IG Live? There's 3 of you in the car, and one dude decides it's a good idea to be on IG Live. Like that's
it's because he's intoxicated. It sucks to say, but like,
yeah, it is
probably because he's ripped.
Yeah, and that shit needs to stop.
So I think I was interesting. I didn't know. We didn't talk about this before. Had no idea what we were gonna, the takes we were gonna have with this. We always forget that these guys are like 21 years old and they have like $200 million. I know they don't have that specifically at that time, but these are the contracts that these 21-year-olds are signing. Do you know what kind of stupid shit I did when I was 21?
Yeah.
Like, yes, obviously there is a much higher bar that these guys have to live up to because they're in the public eye, because they are supposed to be role models to hundreds of millions of kids, people across the world, right? Because of what they do and the blessings that they've been given. But at the same time, they're kids, man. They have so much money. If you have one guy, I mean, look at Ja's dad. Like, I trust that Ja's dad did everything possible to try to get Ja into the position that he's in right now. But you cannot tell me that guy does not like to fucking party. I can guarantee you that there's been a lot of things about the people around him that have caused the situation to get to where it's at right now. It happens with a lot of athletes, and it happens in a lot of other sports. I see it with soccer a lot. My dad is a huge Arsenal fan. I follow the EPL. These guys are like 18 years old getting 500,000 pounds a week, which is like ridiculous money. And if they don't have an incredible support system around them, shit goes sideways real fast. And so it's going to keep happening in this situation. It's going to keep happening in all the different leagues. So I agree with everything you guys said. The guy just needs to get some help because he's a star in this league. He's going to continue to be a star in this league if the right help is gotten for him.
Did you guys see that report that came out where apparently agents of players in the league are pissed off because now people are going to be looking at their players differently and deals and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. I don't buy that. I feel like this Ja situation, I'm not saying it's nothing. Yeah, he shouldn't be waving around a guy on IG Live at the platform he has, etc. But now people are doing a lot to just blow this shit out of proportion and blow this into something that is like way bigger. Like, I thought that was pretty ridiculous that now people are going to say, no, we don't want to sign an NBA player. Like, come on. Like, does LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, do these guys not exist? Like, you're going to talk to me about Ja Morant waving around a gun? That's the worst thing he's done. Miles Bridges, we know what the fuck he did, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
the NFL list is long.
Yeah.
And Miles Bridges, he's already, if he comes back into the league, time served. I think he only has to serve another 8 games, and you're going to suspend Ja for 40 games for not hurting anybody? That's kind of ridiculous.
Just help the guy, right?
Yeah.
Figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's not shooting people. He just likes guns. Like
He
Chris
likes to
Kaman
look
liked
cool.
guns. Other NBA players, like you said, Vern, I'm sure like American gun culture is different. Me and you are Canadians. I'm sure Jesus can tell us, but like gun culture is just different. I've held a gun once.
Yeah,
Never
same.
shot a gun though.
Same. Once at a
think
shooting range. That's it. That's my history with firearms, you know?
I have shot a gun 2 times, so I know how to, and I feel comfortable around one, but I don't have like any strong opinions about like people's guns rights and things like that. But it's the thing about it is like these situations like right now are Gilbert Arenas 2.0. I was thinking that too. I mean, Gilbert Arenas didn't even get in trouble like Ja did because social media wasn't as big when Gilbert Arenas did it. The thing about this situation is like this relates to like a petty theft crime. Like this is a very small. Is it bad? Yes. But the problem is that if it doesn't get, there's my face. I guess V had to dip for a second. If this is something that could turn into a bigger problem, like because like you said, what happens if he has a gun in a situation and it ends up going off and somebody accidentally gets shot or he gets shot or something bad happens? Like you said, this can avalanche really quickly. And I hope that it gets to the point where they talk to him and like they get to the point where they get it under control and he can.
The NFL player that shot himself in the leg in the club.
Plaxico Burress. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to
let's just avoid this shit.
Exactly. We could go really deep into this conversation, especially with like NFL players, like the whole Deshaun Watson thing. Like there's been a lot of guys that have got off for lots of things that they shouldn't have gotten off for. This is one of those situations where the guy just needs help. Perfectly said. And hopefully he gets it and we cannot have this conversation again. I want to talk about one more thing before we talk about this game, which is NBA related. V and I were texting last night because I want to hear your thoughts on this too, Sukh, and I think it'll be interesting for people to kind of get their thoughts as well. What do you think about Victor Wembanyama? There's been so much talk about obviously now going to be a Spur pretty much. It's pretty foregone conclusion that he's going to be playing in San Antonio. It's crazy to me that this guy is, yes, he's 7'5". Yes, he can do crazy things like with the basketball. He's like a point guard basically. But like he's like, if he doesn't have 10 NBA titles by the time he's 25, he's a bust. What do you guys think about this whole like the hype around Victor Wembanyama and like his talent and like what the kind of just the whole thing?
V, you want to go first?
Well, in my opinion, like I think he's going to be great, and I'm excited for him. But obviously, I haven't watched much of his stuff. Plus, he's been playing international, and like again, a lot of these guys are just like men playing amongst boys, right? But the hype that's been created is getting like out of hand. Like they're creating expectations for him where it's impossible to succeed. Chris Broussard, I've never agreed with Nick Wright in my life, except when Chris Broussard was up there saying that if Wembanyama has the kind of career that KD, AD, or I can't remember the third guy that he mentioned, but another absolute fucking like dog, he's like, that's a failure. That the expectation for him is he needs to have a LeBron, MJ type of career for him to even meet expectations. Like when has LeBron and MJ been anybody meeting expectations? Like everybody thought LeBron was going to be good, but I think he still fucking exceeded the expectations on what he came into the league as, right? So I just think that he's kind of been put into a situation where it's like the hype is all the way up here that even if he gets here, everybody's going to be disappointed.
I think no one's going to be disappointed. The narrative, like we talked about with the NBA analysts, NBA fans, narrative is everything. This guy's narrative is lining up. He talked about it. Going to the Spurs means something. Boris Diaw, Tony Parker, the French love the Spurs. And like you were saying before, sometimes these guys are playing against boys. He's not. He's playing in the top French league. He's going around Europe playing all the top teams. He's playing with men. He's been playing with men, and he's been cleaning up on awards. He was their MVP. He played every game for the team this year. So I think it's really just fucking time for another first overall pick to really blow us out of the water. I know first picks don't really always hit, but honestly, as an NBA fan, I'm ready for another generational talent Vern, it's like we talked years ago about Luka. I was crazy high on him. These guys just have fucking moves. These AAU guys aren't learning. These AAU guys aren't implementing. They're coming to the NBA and then they're learning their counters, and then they're learning that it takes multiple efforts to win on the defensive end. Wemby's been doing that for years. He's been playing with men for years. He knows what it takes to win against men. And it's going to be just like with Luka. I think he's going to come into the league, and I think he's going to have a big season. When they drafted Robinson first overall, when they drafted Tim Duncan first overall, the next season, both records were 56 wins. I don't think they're going to get up to that level, but Wemby is going to be surrounded with Vassell, Johnson, Trey Jones if he comes back. There's a cohesive team there. Yes, yeah. So you got him doing the dirty work, and Wemby's out there 7'5", crossing people up, step back three. Right? Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we should cheer for it.
I mean, can you I'm sure Greg Popovich had the biggest heart on that night. Like the guy, he's just. I love Pop. I think he's a fantastic coach. He's one of the best coaches we've ever had in the NBA. And you said it so well. I mean, look what he did with Tim Duncan. Look what he did with Tony Parker. Manu Ginobili as well. Like Manu Ginobili is one of the. I mean, also there's this shift happening in the NBA that's been happening for a while now, which international players, man, are just taking over the league, and it's because of kind of what you talked about, that they're either playing in other leagues, and they're just getting so much more repetition and so much more game time in actual situations against these men. Yeah. I think the hype around it is a little bit too much, just based on what we've kind of talked about, but I understand the reasoning, and I'm excited to kind of see if it does play out the way. But let's not. He's not LeBron yet. Let's.
I think the way Luka panned out definitely has something to do with that. Like Sukh, I didn't know that he was playing in the actual French men's or French professional league and things like that. You know what I mean? But I remember Sukh. This is Luka was probably a 17-year-old playing in Barcelona, and Sukh was getting me hyped on this guy. He's like, bro, you don't even know this guy. He's gonna be insane when he comes to the NBA. Like literally the 17-year-old kid playing in Europe. And there's not one person I know that knows his name except this guy right here.
He used to tell crazy stories. He played for Real Madrid, actually.
Real Madrid, sorry, yeah.
He used to tell crazy stories that he used to go out with the soccer team, and people would think he's the bodyguard. So he was flying under the radar and eating bitches on the court, but nobody knew who the fuck he was properly, especially when he's next to the soccer players. I'm ready for Wemby to, I want it. Jokic, Antetokounmpo, and Doncic, and Wemby's going to be right there, in my opinion. This league is going to be dominated by the world-class players.
Hey, I'm here for it, man. I'm totally here for it. All right, it's a good pivot to talk about two teams that don't really have a lot of international players. So just good old Americans on these teams. Yeah. But last night we saw, Joker's just doing some ridiculous things right now. I honestly think that he's decided that this is his year, that he's going to go and win the finals. I think that he just looks like he is not going to be stopped. Well, before we talk about the game tonight, do you guys have just some thoughts about last night in the game and the Lakers game? We can talk a little bit about it after the game tonight too, with the game tomorrow. But what do you guys think about the series so far?
I think Jamal Murray is another one of those international guys that we can talk about. Is fucking up there, man. Guys, he is the definition of Captain Canada. What the fuck you want to see, the elite Canadian. I know Andrew Wiggins is amazing, and there's other great Canadians in the league, Shea as well. But Murray, if he didn't get injured for those 2 seasons, spent most of this season rehabbing, and you saw last night, the things he can do, the threes he was hitting, step backs, LeBron guarding him, AD guarding him, it didn't matter. He's getting to the line, and bro, making free throws for me is one of the biggest fucking things. It pains me every time I have to see JB go to the line in the last 6-7 minutes of the game and see him split free throws, bro, or go 0 for 2. Jamal, the Lakers were scoring. They were getting down court. They still covered that spread. But Jamal Murray was not letting them have any life to come back and win that game in the last 2.5 minutes of that game. Jokic was gassed at the end of that. We saw him with 19 in the first half, and I think he finished with 23. He didn't take a rest till I think about the 7.5, 8 minute mark in the fourth quarter.
When the game ended, he just folded. He was just leaned over, not even grabbing his shorts. His hands were near his feet.
He was just over. And Jamal Murray kind of came in and, did what he needed to do to get that Nuggets team over the. Obviously, I'm not saying Jokic didn't do anything. He had an amazing game. But Jamal Murray is kind of, fucking electric and fun to watch.
Jokic had 5 turnovers yesterday, which I don't remember the last time I saw Jokic have 5 turnovers. That's a lot for him.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about it kind of early in the game that the Lakers were playing him differently to where like they basically were forcing him to score because they felt like if he's scoring a lot and they take away his facilitating capabilities, then they'll be able to at least identify that and kind of stop everybody else type of thing. But then if you have Jamal Murray going nuts in the fourth quarter, hitting step back threes in AD's face, it's over, man. Absolutely over. So yeah, 100%.
What do you guys think
Canada.
What do you guys think about the chances for the Lakers?
I think they have to win game 3.
Yeah. Maybe that will tell us the rest of the series, how game 3 goes.
I think they win game 3.
I do too. What's up, Sandy?
I do. As we talk about the Lakers, it's like this guy's little Laker sense is tingling.
He got the Batman signal of the Laker talk, so he's
absolutely. But no, I think this is like the Lakers. They're definitely not out of it. You're never out of it when you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? Especially with the way they shot last night. That's a lot different of a game if LeBron just shoots like even 45, 48%, and AD doesn't shoot. I think he was like 4 of 15. He still got to the line 9 or 10 times. Not a bad game for that, but just shooting wise, you can't have that from your 2-star players. You get 20 from Rui, 20 from Reeves. What more do you want from your role players? Your guys got to step up, and I don't think there's any way that we see LeBron or AD have a repeat of that in game 3.
This is what I meant to pull up, but I'll also pull up the second thing as well. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, brother. Yeah. We're talking about obviously AAU versus international play as well. That lotto you sent me last night, V, was absolute pain. LeBron had that breakaway dunk that he missed. He missed so much. Like I saw you tweet about him missing bunnies. He was missing fucking he was missing Easter bunny rabbits. Like he was just. I've never seen him miss so many layups. That last layup in the last 30 seconds of the game. They needed that bucket, and he just couldn't get it. Let's go.
Yeah, and LeBron one of the best finishers in the game. Oh, let's go.
Sandy sub bang.
5U sub bang.
5U sub bang.
Hey, Sandy, let's go. Shout out Sandy.
All right. For that, we're going to play some tunes. Let's go. If it loads.
You look like some trouble. I just might wanna get into. Pull up and so girl, you know I don't do rental. Pull up in a drop top, baby send an Addy. Hit it from the back, cause I know you got a fatty. Yeah,
let's get it.
Sippin' on some rock, fucking naughty. Got me in her mouth, I'm my new favorite candy. Double G with a wasted.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the sub banks. We appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys being here. With a little more time, and because the show was, I like talking with you guys. I think everybody else likes listening to us talk about stuff. Obviously, this is a betting show. We're about to get down to the nitty gritty, and we're going to talk about what we want to bet on. We've turned Sukh into a tiny bit of a degenerate, which I'm so incredibly happy about. Sukh's texting fucking plays now, man. It's crazy.
It's exciting.
But it's also nice to chop it up, just talk some ball with you guys. I think that, at the end of the day, we all like to bet on it. But at the same time, that goes into capping these games. That goes into understanding why we make the plays that we make and just enjoying the games in general. So we'll do a little bit more chatter, as obviously when we don't have any games to talk about, we'll have a lot more to talk about in that regard too. So, this is not going to go amiss. I'll work on it. I'll work on it, Lando. Don't worry. Okay. So on that note, let's talk about this game tonight. Obviously, Celtics back at home before game 3 and 4 in Miami. Dropped game 1. Same spread in game 1, 8.5 points, and the Heat went outright. Interestingly, I think, same spread again today, which kind of feeds into what my thinking is on this game, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first. So it's 8.5 points for the Heat. The over-under is 215 in TD Garden tonight at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. What do you think, gents? Do you think your boys level the series tonight? Do you think they win big? Do you think what are your thoughts on this one?
So, you want to go first?
So there's a reason I'm wearing the Vegeta hat today. It's because Jimmy's been Kakarot, so we're going to need Tatum to be Vegeta. I don't know if a lot
let's
of people are
go.
gonna get that one, but let's fucking hope.
Absolutely.
Where are the Dragon Ball Z homies in the house? Let's get it.
All right.
Sandy, I think it's a
Yeah,
line
word.
from last night. It's 9.5
Yeah,
now, SPJ.
Oh, is
It's
it?
9.5.
I saw 8.5 on BetMGM. That's where I saw it. That's where I got it. So if you can still get it on MGM at 8.5, then.
But sorry, so go ahead.
Oh no. Honestly though, for tonight, I don't want to see any Peyton Pritchard. Maybe take Horford's minutes down a little bit. I think a good thing to bet would be any Horford under. I think he's been kind of bad. Yeah, he had those 3 steals, but I think we gotta have a different look. I am just not liking that look out there. You know, I want to see Rob Will. I think Rob Will has a big game, maybe a double-double. For sure, he'll be in that 10 rebound range. And I do like the over for tonight. I don't know. What about you, V? You like the over?
I'm loving the over, man. So I went in on this game here a little bit. Couple stats here. I'm going to read these guys off to you. So the Celtics are averaging 114 points per game at home. So 117 points per game at home, 114 on the road. The Heat, however, are averaging 117 points per game on the road. Reason being, from what I've seen, is in that Bucks series, we know that they had to up their pace. They had to play faster and score in transition and score off turnovers. The Celtics and the Heat combined for 50 points off of turnovers last game, and it wasn't in one direction or the other. I think it was 26 for the Heat, 24 for the Celtics. You know, they're playing big defense and they're scoring in transition and scoring off of turnovers. Not only that, one stat that got my attention is the Heat on the road are allowing 27.7 free throws per game, free throw attempts per game, which is insanity. When you look at their home split, it's 13 free throw attempts per game. You know, maybe it has to do with the refs whistle. Maybe it has to do with the way that they play the game. You know, the Heat play a very, very up in your face, like grimy game. Every bucket you get, you work for. We saw Tatum in his first series, or the first series of this playoffs against the Hawks. He was averaging 4.6 drives per game, 4.6 free throw attempts per game. Since then, in the Sixers game, he's averaging 8.1, and he had 11 against the Heat the other night. He only took 3 threes. That's a theme that we've kind of seen with Tatum. Against the Heat, he does not shoot a lot of threes. He does a lot to get inside, get into the paint, because he knows the majority of those guys are smaller than him. They can't guard him. And when he's working his best when he's in there, he was 9 of 17 last game, 11 free throw attempts. You know, the Celtics had 19 free throw attempts, and that's on the low side for a Miami road game. Not only that, but Miami's opponents on those free throws, they're shooting 69%, which is kind of abnormal for any playoff team. The Celtics as a team are shooting 82% from the line. This is not a team that you can let get to the free throw line. If the Celtics are going to win today and cover, it's going to be because they score about 117 to 120 points per game or in this game. I love the over. I don't Sukh, you had sent this to us on Twitter. Spo is the king of covering in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Yeah. He literally got outcoached last game. I wouldn't say that the loss was on Joe Mazzulla. It was definitely on the players and their lack of defense. So I wasn't liking Peyton Pritchard getting minutes either. I don't know why he was in the game at all. He's undersized. He wasn't providing any shooting or any kind of spark off the bench.
Why not Hauser or Griffin?
At least bring in some size and shooting. And then not only that, but there's points where Jimmy was just hunting for the switch. And I get it. The Celtics can switch everything. That doesn't mean that you should. You know what I mean? You got to fight through screens. You have to, the way JB was playing on James Harden, we need to see that kind of intensity on Jimmy. At one point, Al Horford was guarding Jimmy, and then they ran a screen, and then it was Rob Williams on the other side of the switch. Either of those matchups are not the matchups that we want for Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean?
I don't get it in the NBA, this automatic switch, especially in the playoffs. A guy like Jimmy is going to stand there, and literally he'll hover around the three-point line and literally get 2 switches and get the guy he wants. Tatum's got to do that kind of stuff too, but the Heat don't switch as easily.
The other thing that I saw was the most intriguing thing was in the regular season, Tatum is averaging, where is that? I have it right here. 76.6 touches per game, and JV's averaging 58.4 touches per game. Last game, they both had 70 touches each. In games where JB is handling the ball that much and touching the ball that much, not trying to say that he isn't that guy. No, he is, but he's that second guy. He's that fucking silent assassin in the corner that's going to put up 27, 28 points when he's not seeing double teams. He's not seeing a bulk of the load, and he's not seeing a majority of the scoring duties. The Celtics win, Celtics cover, and they play phenomenal, like way in a ways better when it's Tatum the one handling the ball. We saw Marcus Smart also with 70 touches, which didn't make sense to me either. I know he was doing a lot in his point guard role to get assists. That's another play I like, and I'll talk about later. But I think tonight is going to be like one of those games we saw with the Sixers in Game 6, where they were forcing the ball to Tatum, even though he was shooting like absolute dog shit, right? You force the ball to Tatum, you win games. Even though it's late, even though whatever it is, you win games. We saw the Celtics, I think, in Game 7 going a 33-5 run, right? And that was a game Tatum had 51. Everyone's real quick to forget and talk shit about him. And like we were just talking about this in our group chat. Look, Tatum is one of those guys that is on social media. So he knows all the people that were talking about him after Game 6 and how did he respond, right? I think it's going to be another big game like that for him tonight. I think the Heat also score a lot of points because the Celtics defense has not been as good as it was during the regular season as it was last year during the postseason. They're not that same team anymore, and that's okay because they score a lot more points now.
Okay, so first of all, like I said, I wrote about this game earlier, and V and I did not talk about this prior to the show. I didn't talk with any of these gents about our takes and what we were thinking. I wrote about it, posted it, and everything like that. But swear to God, V, word for word, homie, the same shit that just came out of your mouth is everything that I have in this game. I love Jason Tatum tonight over 29.5 points. He went 9 from 17 in Game 1, and he still had 30 points. Shit's not happening again. They are going to force feed that man the ball. It is a crime that he touched the ball as much as he did in Game 1. That is not happening again. They are going to 100% make sure that he normally takes like 20 to 23 shots a game. Like if you look at his chart, his graph, 20 is like the minimum, the bare minimum. And he had 17 last game, and he still had 30 points. He shot like shit too. He did not play very well. But he was doing a little bit of everything else, which is what Tatum does if you guys watch him consistently, which I know you guys do, but everyone else. I love Jason Tatum tonight. Over 29.5 points is my favorite play. I laddered it all the way up to 40 plus. I think he could have a 40 bomb tonight. I really do. I think that if the Celtics are going to cover this spread, which is also the point that I wanted to talk about, why is this 9 points again? They just lost out. The Heat almost reverse covered in Game 1. Why is it 9 points again? If this is a trap, I'm willing to take this shit. I think the Celtics are going to win by 15 plus. I think they're going to absolutely steamroll them, and I think it's going to be on the back of Jason Tatum having probably 35 plus tonight.
I agree. And like SPJ, if you look at the Celtics historically, when they come off a loss, they win big in the next game. Not only that, we saw the same story last season, but the only difference is that the Celtics didn't lose a home game to the Heat last season. It was the Heat. I think they were the number 1 seed, took Game 1, but then the Celtics came out in Game 2, punched them in the mouth, and I think they won 127-102. Same thing with the Bucks series in the round 1 series this season, right? They come out Game 2, Bucks don't even have Giannis. And they think they won by 10 to 15 points, right? Covered that spread easily. But the Heat have been scoring a lot of points. The only time they didn't was when they played against this Knicks defense. And that Knicks defense and Tom Tibbs, he's special when it comes to defense. Like you just can't, like Sukh knows that as the 08 Celtics team. They were giving up, I think, like 85, 86 points per game, and he was the head of that defense, Tom Tibbs. I think this Heat team can score. They can get out and run. We saw the Celtics let them shoot 52% from 3, which is abnormal, dude. In a playoff game, 52% from 3. Everybody was shooting well over 50%. Max Strus, 3 of 5. Gabe Vincent, 3 of 4. Like, what the fuck was going on? Right? They weren't closing shooters.
So I saw an interesting stat. The Heat had 6 players with 15 plus points, which is tied for a playoff record in Game 1. Bam, Strus, Gabe Vincent, Jimmy, obviously. Oh God, who was the other one?
Lowry?
Or the other 2? Lowry, and there was one more. They had 6 guys.
Oh, Duncan Robinson, I think?
No.
He hit a couple of big threes too, though, Duncan. Like,
maybe.
They just weren't closing out shooters. When they run that entire switch, Rob Williams oftentimes gets caught dropping low and leaving these shooters open. We saw Steph give the Celtics work last year in the finals, doing that same thing. When you have guys on the other team that can shoot like this, you can't do that. And Strus, Vincent,
Caleb Martin,
Lowry, Duncan, they can all get it done. Caleb Martin.
That's who it was. Yeah. So Sandy asked this question, which I got 3 for you. V, I know you probably have a prop too, so I'll give 2. I just gave 1. Tatum over 29.5.
I mean, that's my favorite prop too. So let me just do a little bit to sell that shit because I'm on his 40 plus. I love everything
Let's
to do
go.
with him today, man. Like Sukh knows this better than anybody else. His one like gripe with Tatum is that he doesn't attack the basket enough. And I agree. You know what I mean? He takes a lot of jump shots, a lot of contested jump shots. Reason being, he makes a lot of them. But when he's getting to the rim and he's getting to the free throw line, this dude is unstoppable. And we've seen it since the Sixers series, him upping his free throw attempts, 8.1, had 11 the other night against Miami. I think it's more of the same, especially while this series is still in Boston. I know that Zach Zarba is also reffing. You know, he I'm not saying that he loves the Celtics, but he's quick to blow the whistle, real quick to blow the whistle. You know, this is going to be an intense game. The league does not want the Celtics to go down 2-0. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be opposed to some reffing shifts towards the Celtics. But, you know, I just think that he's going to get there. I think he's going to have probably about 8 to 10 free throws tonight. He's going to shoot about 20 to 22 shots. And I think that he gets us 40 tonight.
I mean, 35 plus is plus 230. You don't even have to go to the 40 plus for good value on the ladder. I mean, I love the 40 plus at plus 600. How can you not take that? But it's like 29. And like you said, we talked about it. Like he ain't having 30 tonight. He's going way over it. Oh my God, even a ref report, dude. This is what you get, guys, when you tune in. You get to listen to the surgical cell jobs.
And Sandy, I know you don't want to hear this, but I think JB also has a game today. I think he plays a lot better. Like, I was looking at the stats too. That game, when JB's, where is it? When he's playing his normal season numbers, averaging just 56 touches per game, he averages more points per touch than Tatum does, because he is that guy that thrives with decent volume, not insane volume, and not with that kind of pressure. And I think JB also has a game where he gets to 25. And it's going to, like I said, it's an over spot tonight. I love this game for props. I'm probably going to cook up a few lottos for this one.
I got a prop.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm horny.
I think Jimmy's been on one, and I don't know how much longer it's going to happen. And we've seen this with the Celtics. They make good adjustments. So I do like Jimmy Butler to record a double-double. It's plus 290 on FanDuel right now.
Plus
Oh
290
my
on
God.
FanDuel right now. Jimmy
I like
double-double.
Yeah,
I
I think
like
he could get that with rebounds. I just don't think he's going to keep coming over and shooting over the top of our little guys. We're going to have to answer, and I think that answer hopefully means Jimmy has a frustrating game. But when he's frustrated, he's just going to hit the boards. So I like that, actually.
He also had 7 assists last game too, even while
Good.
scoring 35. So, like, he's definitely one of those guys that could hit the double-double with either rebounds or assists.
Just sprinkle it.
And if you're going to sprinkle that, you might as well sprinkle the triple-double too, right?
Triple-double.
Just
You might as well.
a little dabble.
I mean, I honestly was thinking about dabbling in Tatum triple-double tonight. I mean, I know it's probably not going to happen, but I just could see an angry Tatum game tonight. And I mean, we saw last game I played his rebounds. He had like 6 or 7 rebounds, which doesn't normally happen for Tatum either. I think we see a really large swing in the back, the other direction, the reverse from what has happened previously to this game now. Like the game one, you got to kind of just put it on the side. I think we're going to see Tatum doing Tatum things again tonight. Another prop that I like, I love it that Sukh has props now, man. It just makes me so happy, dude. So happy. All right, so here's my other 2 props. All right, I have 2. I think V, you touched on one of these. I'll save the smart assist because I think you were going to talk about that, so I'll let you talk about that one. But Derek White over 1.5 threes. I got it at plus 100. I actually saw that it's moving over to minus 105 now. Derek White hit 3 threes in game 1. 3+ is also plus 210 if you would like to if you'd like to dabble in the ladder opportunity as well. It's a little bit, if you look at his chart, it's a little bit up and down, but against the Heat, he's hit 2+ threes in 7 straight games against Miami. Something about this matchup seems to do him pretty well. He's obviously going to play quite a few minutes. He's got over his 7.5 points line last game with 11 points, hitting 3 triples. So we get it pretty much with just threes. I think that kind of ties into what you guys were talking about as well with, like, you know, they ain't going to play Pritchard again that much again tonight. I think it's going to be back to the Derek White, back to Brogdon, back to the guys that have gotten them there, kind of ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. And I mean, 7 straight against the Heat. What else could you love? And the over 1.5, I feel like is very doable for a guy like White, especially if, like, he's going to take 4 to 5 to 6 possibly.
He's a catch first point guard. He, like Sandy knows, he's been riding his under assists. I don't even know for how many games, and shit's been smacking. Derek White is one of those catch and shoot point guards. You know what I mean? Playing alongside Marcus Smart. I actually wanted to ask you a question, Sukh. With the way Peyton Pritchard came into the game last game, we saw Brogdon play 36 minutes in the last game. Do you think that's something that kind of keeps up? And do you think he is another guy that we should look at? Or what do you think happens there? With
Yeah, honestly, I want that. I would hope that Brogdon plays more and actually shoots more. Right now, Brogdon plus 20 points is plus 250 on FanDuel. So there's value there. And I think if we're talking about how we're saying the Celtics are going to smash them, sometimes that really means the Celtics are raining threes, and that's a good chance for Brogdon to get points. And Derek White, love the Derek White move.
And nice. I think both of these guys both sit at 1.5. I think Brogdon is a little bit more juiced at 1.5, but both their threes line, you know, the little 2-teamer, 2+2+, sounds surgical. And like Sukh said, the Celtics play their best when they're raining threes. You know, they shoot them unapologetically, like they're the fucking Warriors or something.
This comes down to the fact of if you think the Celtics are going to cover, how are they going to cover? It's probably going to be Tatum, probably going to be Brown, and it's going to be these guys getting threes. Like that's how they cover this 10+ points. Yeah.
Shout out Mrs. Landon Jackson. Shout out White Lamar. Mrs. White Lamar.
Mrs. White Lamar 6969. That might happen later. Depending upon what happens in this game.
Hopefully dinner goes well and Landon's not sitting there with the bill in his hand and no coin.
Yeah, hopefully not. So I guess let's real quick on the sides and then we'll cook because we're in the cooking mode. I think we're all going to be kind of on the same page in the cooking department too, which sounds spicy. Do you guys think the Celtics are going to win by 10?
I do.
But I'm more comfortable with the over. Yeah, I'm more comfortable with the over just because it's such a high spread. But I love the over here. But I think the only way it hits the over is if the Celtics score 118, 119 points per game.
Like if you don't think that's going to happen, then go nuclear on Jimmy Butler's line, right? Ladder his points or something if you don't think the Celtics are going to do what we think they're going to do.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, he had 35 game one. That was pretty, like you said, very well put. Like that's the reason why they won. Yeah, barred almost immediately. Like
it was that third quarter that killed them. Celtics were up at halftime. They were looking good, playing well, and then that third quarter is just absolutely terrible.
I was ready to break something when that 3 dropped, and it's just like it reminded me of the Kawhi 3 from Toronto, and it's just like, fuck, is this happening to us right now?
Do you remember last year, Game 7, when he ran, like when he comes down the court and he pulls up from deep for that 3? Bro, all I remember is that I was like, our season's over right here. I watched it. I watched the shot not go in, like him shoot it live. Yeah. And I was like, this is it for us. This is it. And it went in, bang, and out. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like he is that guy when he wants to be. And he's scary. And he actually puts fear into other fans.
I jokingly said to myself after game 1, I felt like such a bozo. Because I literally was writing about the game and I was like, am I really going to bet against the Heat right now and Jimmy Butler for 9.5 points in this game or 8.5 points in this game? And I did. And I got burned because Jimmy did Jimmy things. Could I see that happening again tonight? Of course. If Jimmy Butler has one of those games again tonight, that is literally the only reason why the Heat cover and possibly win this game is if Jimmy does Jimmy things again. If not, Celtics took by 1 million. I think also Celtics 15+ is probably a good bet. I don't know the value on that one. But if they're going to win by 10, they're probably going to win by 15 to 20, I would bet. So I will maybe look at that and see if that's something worth dusting. But sprinkling. All right, gents, let's do some cooking. Guys, we're so happy you guys are here in chat. Thanks so much for stopping by for your All Sauce team every single Friday. Go give these gents a follow on Twitter if you're not already, at SukhBrar4. Sukh's been posting more NBA content. Don't miss out. And at VSauauce. And obviously go give me a follow at SweatPantJesus. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us every single Friday for a little bit of fun and winning some bets. Yeah, you come for the winners, but you're staying for the vibes. That's how we do it. Stand for the vibes, baby. All right, guys, let's cook. Let's have some fun. Where do we want to start? Do we want to just do a regular SGP or do we want to go straight into the lotto?
Why don't we start with the regular one and then we can build off of that one?
Sounds good to me.
Start sensical, then lose it. Just lose it.
Yo.
I did that on the other stream, the Eminem song. I need to bring that on here maybe.
Right.
Might be
well, that's my boy. I get so much flack for that.
Eminem's dude. Yeah. Well, not from me, but he's amazing.
I love him.
Sukh gets a lot of flack for his music taste. A lot of it has to do with movie soundtracks. So,
what's your favorite? Oh, yeah. See, there it is.
Big movie guy.
Big movie guy. Okay. Oh,
I'm like
okay,
a brown Bill Simmons, but without the money.
No, don't say that. Bill
No
Simmons is the
Spotify
worst.
money for me.
Bill Simmons is the fucking worst.
You're Brown
Worst.
Simmons. What can Brown Simmons do for you?
Actually, you guys' outlook on the Celtics is just as jaded and negative, so maybe.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I get down.
You know what's interesting? Because we do the show, because I obviously am homies with you guys now, I have now kind of become a little bit of a Celtics fan. I didn't like the Celtics too much before, but I got to ride with the boys. I also wasn't a huge Jason Tatum guy either, but the more I've watched him, dude's a baller.
The Celtics get a lot of hate, man. They get a lot of hate, and it's easy to hate them. I'm not sure why, but they're a good team full of good guys that you just kind of want to see succeed. Like JB, who doesn't like JB? So many fans of other teams want him so bad, like so fucking bad. That's all they talk about.
Coins literally sends that picture of JB in a Knicks jersey like every fucking Celtics game. It's crazy. Yeah. So all right, let's cook. So should we start with Tatum 30 plus? I mean,
yeah.
I feel like that's got to be.
I think Rob Williams rebounds. I liked what Sukh was talking about. Yeah.
I like that. What's the line? Is it 7.5?
I believe it is 7.5. Let me take a look.
Yep, this is good from Paul. Paul, also, I'm pretty sure that the one you said yesterday or the day before with LeBron to lead the assist category, I think that's macaroni because he had 10 assists last night.
Can you put that like assist leader in a lotto though in the same game parlay? I don't think so.
You can. It's a straight bet.
I am like Paul. I wish I could take that. I'm not on. FanDuel's a little bit harder for me to take. I have to have someone press the buttons for me back in Canada, and not even in Canada. I can't even have Sukh do it. It has to be like in Ontario. It's the worst. But,
okay, yeah, my bad. You were almost sharp there. I forgot Jokic is a fucking walking triple double.
Yeah, but I mean the value there was probably like minus 600.
Plus, it was sure for sure. LeBron was like plus 450 or something like that, and he had 10. I mean, Jesus. But
I do like that assist look, Paul. I was looking at Marcus Smart in games versus the Heat. He tends to shoot less and take on more of a distributor role. We saw it during the regular season, and we saw it in game 1 of the playoffs. He's averaging 8.3 potential assists in the games leading up to the Miami series, 12 potential assists in that game. And he was finding his guys in really, really good spots, open shots. And the Celtics struggled from the field, and especially in that second half. So Marcus was really finding his guys in good spots.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take this opportunity before we cook, because I already cooked my own SGP, and I don't want anything to be to you guys to think I didn't press buttons by myself. These are the buttons I pressed by myself before we got started. Derek White over 1.5 threes, Jason Tatum 29 points, Bam over 18 points, Strus over 12.5 points, Marcus Smart over 6 assists, Jimmy Butler over 6 assists. That's what I did.
I really like that Strus.
Love it.
Strus is like, we talked about him last time on the show. He's one of the guys that gets a lot of time regardless of who's playing well and who's not, because he brings size and shooting. His volume was low last game.
He looked like Tony Snell in the first half last game, and then he had that third quarter and covered.
As did Michael Porter Jr. yesterday. Tony Snell in the first half, and then fucking went nuts in the second half.
Michael Porter Jr. grabbing 7 rebounds in the second half yesterday made me so much money. It was amazing. It cashed me 3 lays. It was insane.
Damn.
I literally thought it was dead when he had 1. He was in foul trouble. He had 1. I was like, this shit's cooked. Magic cover. Oh, the face. He's always here right on time for the cooking. It's like he knows. The cook knows when the cooking is happening. Okay. All right. So Tatum 30 plus. Rob Will 6. Is it 6 over 6.5 or 7.5? I can't look. What's
I'm looking right now. Sorry.
Line? You're good. Strus revenge game.
7.5 minus 105. I'm looking at him 365. And I really like that.
Paul, just real quick. So Smart also had these last 3 games versus the Heat. He had 11 assists, 9 assists, and 9 assists. So if you take his 8 plus at plus 2 something, good look as well. Yeah. If you think that he's also, if you're buying into the same, because you always got to think about stuff tying into plays you're going to make, right? So if you think Tatum has a good game, you think Brown's going to have a good game, like who's going to feed him the ball? Probably Marcus Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bang, let's go.
Yeah,
right.
sorry, last thing, SPJ, I just want to say he's averaging 12.7 potential assists in the 3 regular season games too. So the game 1 versus the Heat, it's not like one of those things where you're just like, it's a one-off. No, it's something that he's been doing consistently versus the Heat.
His
just
double
depending on
double
whether
is
guys.
900. Sorry, go.
What's that line? You had my attention, but not you have my. I can't remember from.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my
attention. Yeah, there you go.
Now you have my attention. Oh my god!
Like if you like that Marcus Smart assist, right? If he gets that double double, that's crazy, buddy.
Yeah, and if he's leading the game in assists, he's going to be floating around the 9-10 range because like we talked about, Jimmy's probably going to have one of like this. That's the thing in the playoffs, why sometimes it's so hard to cap these games. Like each team is playing a 7-game series potentially, right? Each team is going to come out and make adjustments. Like Mike Malone talked about it in the post-game presser yesterday. He's like, everybody wanted to talk about the Lakers adjustments that they made in the fourth quarter, right? But nobody wants to talk about the Nuggets and the adjustments that they made or the adjustments they made in game 2, right? Nobody has any questions about that. Every team is making adjustments. Let's not forget that just because we get kind of lost in the sauce or we get hyped on a certain team or a certain thing when it works out really well, right? Every team is going to make adjustments. The Celtics are definitely going to do that. They know they're not going to win this series if Jimmy Butler averages 35 points and 7 assists per game. It's just not going to happen, you know?
No. That's why I don't see a way that that's going to happen again tonight. He's done it all playoffs, so I guess, could definitely happen, but there's no way that they don't make adjustments to where they're not going to let Jimmy not beat them. If Bam has 30 points, so be it, but like, yeah, anyway. All right, so Tatum 30 plus.
Tatum 30 plus. I think we should throw in Marcus Smart assist line too.
5.5.
And maybe Jimmy Butler assist line. So do you like rebounds better or assists better? What do you think?
Me or
I don't know. That one's tough.
What do you think?
I don't know. Should we go with rebounds maybe?
Honestly, the only reason I do like rebounds is because like Bam, he's not like a big clearing the glass kind of guy. A lot of his rebounds sometimes will come on the offensive end too. And I think he had 8 last game. Celtics, especially if Rob Will's playing a lot of minutes, they're going to be crashing that offensive glass tonight, I think. And Jimmy is one of those guys where he's like he knows what he has to do to try and get his team in a good position to win, right? And if that means rebounding the ball, he's going to be doing that. And I could see some up-tempo plays, some missed shots. And like this is a low total. So like you can like the total in this game and still believe there's going to be missed shots, right? Whereas that Lakers game yesterday up at 227, much less room for error there, right? Even if that game had gone
to you, dude. Sharp ship by you too with that under. That was very surgical. Absolutely
free. And I didn't even post that one because it just like it was giving me bad vibes after that first game, right? I took it disgruntledly and it was the freest bet of the night. Everything else was a sweat. AD rebounds was a sweat. MPJ was a sweat. KCP wasn't a sweat. But
KC, that was free. That was also free.
Absolutely free.
Okay, so I like smart assists. I like Tatum points. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just do Celtics players. Just not even maybe touch the Heat. Just like a little Celtics 4-geyser and get us, because I mean, I feel like then either if we think this game's going to go the way we think it's going to go, that means that all these guys are going to have to do their jobs pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So do we do Rob Will Reed? What about his blocks? What's his blocks line at? That could be interesting because he's definitely been a beast in the paint and he's been playing more minutes.
Do we want to do anything with Brogdon or
White?
Yeah, with threes.
I'd be down. I was thinking maybe Brogdon. Yeah, Brogdon threes or points. Either one.
What is that?
I mean, yeah, a Jimmy line doesn't. Any Jimmy line I think would be fine. Rebounds or assists. But if we're like, I feel like just riding with the C's and just going all in. And if
fully down,
they shit the bed, then whatever.
I'm down with that too, man. I really think so. And we can always cook another one too with a little bit of like a couple Heat players. You know what I mean? It's just there's not as many Heat props that I like tonight. Like I'm not as sold on anything else. Maybe a Max Strus prop, maybe, but you never know. He only took 5 threes last game in a game where they scored a lot of points. That was a little bit, interesting to me. Well, where was the volume that he's been seeing consistently through the playoffs? Where'd that go?
It's a good point too. Sorry, go.
No, go for it. Answer. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, with B Young, yeah, it does matter if Tatum can keep him off the boards. That'd be nice.
Well, Tatum, like I said, he's been a rebounding wagon all season, but especially during the playoffs. I played his rebounds last game because he's been boarding really well against the Heat, but he didn't get there last game. He only had 7.
Do we want to add that then?
I could be down. I don't want it, but I mean,
down for that.
I like his. You mean Jimmy or Tatum?
Tatum.
It's 9.5 again. He'd have to get a double. I don't hate it. I like his. I feel like I like his points a little bit better, but
Yeah, let's stick to the points then.
Yeah. This is interesting. What do you guys think about this? JB is RA. He was a menace on the glass game 1. He had to get like 9 rebounds.
So that's the thing. Like, if I don't remember who was like, because I missed some of the game last game. Who was Jimmy guarding a majority of the game? Sukh.
I'm drawing a blank. I think Jimmy was moving around. He was. They were trying to keep him on Tatum, but Tatum was getting the switch. That's what we were talking about before, where he shot poorly when Jimmy was on him, so they got to hunt that matchup. But it's going to be tough for, I think, Tatum today. I think he will get those switches that he wants, like we were saying that we wanted to hammer his points. And I think he's going to watch the tape back because that's the kind of dude he is, and he's going to get all those switches that he wants.
Austin, though, if I was going to take instead of RA, I would take JB's rebounds. He had a ungodly amount of potential assists last game, 13 potential assists, which I think, like, I know potential assists is not a category that they really count, but that would probably be a career high for him in potential assists. He doesn't do that a lot. He doesn't see 70 touches per game. And in order to get those assists, you need to get the touches that come with it. You know what I mean? And if I'm going to take something for him, like if you like his RA, I would honestly just stick to his rebounds.
Well, this also feeds into the point, too, talking about Tatum getting the same usage. I looked at his line today, all of his lines. His rebounds, points, and assists. So his assist line's been hovering at 4.5 or 5.5 for plus money. He only had 1 assist last game, and his assist line was 4.5, and it was like minus 150. What are they telling you? What are they saying? Yeah, and I think that does have to do with the fact that they're expecting there to be a return to more normalcy on the fact of how much the ball is going to be in Jason Tatum's hands versus Jaylen Brown. All right, so do we do Tatum points, Rob Will rebounds, Smart assists, and Brogdon points, or Brogdon threes, or Brogdon points?
I like Brogdon threes, to be honest. And it
Safer.
might seem a little bit soft, but I wouldn't even hate his threes at 2+. You know, it's not too much juice where it's like minus 400, minus 500. It's sitting in the minus 200 area, right? But for a lay, just because his volume, like when he's scoring, he doesn't exclusively shoot from 3. Like when I'm taking a 3-point prop, I do like to see guys that have like at least a 40% to 45% of their field goal volume coming from behind the arc, you know? And with Brogdon, you don't see that. It's a lot more sporadic. And that's the other reason that I like Tatum points today, not his threes line. He's been like kind of knocking them down from deep, but he doesn't take a lot versus the Heat. He had 59, I believe, this season versus the Heat in the regular season or something like that. 50 plus versus, that was a 49, something like that. And he didn't hit his 3-point line, you know? He gets to the line, he's going to get fouled a lot, and you know that he's looked like Tatum is one of those guys that looks for contact and then complains when he doesn't get it. You know, less so right now in the playoffs, but the refs give him calls, and he's starting to get more and more more calls.
I don't hate this for the value.
At plus 150, I think that at least a half unit. You know, I don't think you can be mad at that.
I like Caleb Martin's game. I think he's pretty good. I think he's underrated in the league. I do like that, especially at that number.
Getting anyone that shoots above 35% from 3 at 2+ for plus value is kind of it's a good play, I'd say.
It's kind of like when they.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's kind of like when they were doing that earlier in the season with Fox for over 1.5 for like almost for good value, like, you know. Yeah. And if you watch in last game, a lot of the times it was literally Jimmy Butler with the ball, going over pick and rolls and just getting into the paint and finding shooters. Yeah. And if, you know, Caleb Martin's going to take 5 to 6, maybe 7 threes again, 2 is very likely for.
He even said it in the post game. He was saying, it's like, them not guarding me at the 3-point line is disrespectful. You know, I don't think it's something like, I don't think it's a conscious decision that the Celtics made. I just think that it's a byproduct of switching everything, that someone's going to get open. You know what I mean? You switch
Definitely worth
everything,
half a
someone's
unit.
gonna get open.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Look at
all
me
right, so
using the
let's
lingo.
you,
Half unit.
bro. I'm telling you guys, it's so awesome. It's just
Suk's
makes me
gonna
so
be
happy.
cooking up 16 leg plus 1 million parlays.
When I get a lotto in our group chat, that's when I'll know we've converted completely.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got Tatum points. Rob will. Do you want to do Rob will rebounds, or do we want to pivot to something else? Are we happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Good with
I am
that.
happy with that.
I feel like his points are inflated. Yeah. Okay. So that
Let's do the
Tatum
bad
points, Rob will rebounds, Smart assists, and Brogdon threes. Right. That's what
Yeah.
we're settling on.
Should
Yeah.
we cook a lotto that is the same thing? Like we can cook another lotto, but the same thing that's just like a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Like put Rob Will at 10 rebounds, put Tatum at like 35 plus, Smart at 7 assists or something, 8 assists, whatever we can get it at. And then Brogdon 3 threes, because that's plus money right now. I think it's like plus 160.
Bang. That's easy. Yeah.
Right.
Because I mean, if we hit our regular line, which all of these guys, again, if the Celtics are going to win big, all of those guys are going to flirt with those numbers. Then hopefully they get them, and then they're going to be we're just waiting to climb. So yeah, I like that.
Also,
I like
full
that a lot.
disclosure, actually, I'm gonna lock this in right now. It's gonna be a Smart double A and Jimmy double A. Just a little.
Yes,
Q2.
do that, please. Everyone do that in the world. It's worth
Right.
it.
Double.
Everybody watching, please do double Smart Butler. Bang.
I want money in your pocket.
Absolutely, I love it. I'm literally putting it in right now.
Okay. All right. When I can't press the buttons right now. So when we're done with the show, please go follow us on Twitter at Your Betting News. I will be posting what we cook on the show, the lay that we just did, the regular guy. I'll probably do it on Prize Picks actually, because I can do it on Prize Picks. The Tatum points, Rob Will rebounds, Smart assists, Brogdon threes. I can't do that on Prize Picks actually. I'll have to do it. I'll have to speak to the people.
Stoney, you still in here? We're gonna need you to press some buttons for our boy.
Yeah. Actually, on that note, I cooked a lotto earlier today. Now that we're talking lottos, because this is the most fun. All right, this is a lotto that I posted earlier. I sent it to the group. I also posted it on Twitter, so you can find it on there. Made a little video if you want to go check it out. But this is the lotto that I cooked today. Tatum 40+ points, Jimmy Butler 4+ steals, and then some baseball plays. So this is baseball for you kids.
And none of these have started, so go get that in right now because Cubs are starting in about 10 minutes here, 15 minutes.
Christopher Morel 5+ bases, Freddie Freeman 5+ bases. Jimmy Butler had 6 steals in game 1. He also had he's either had 6 steals or like 1 steal, and then the last game where he went over his steals line against the Celtics, he had 4 steals.
I was looking at that, and I do like the play. Tell the lotto. Just a little tidbit. After game 1 last year in the conference finals, Jimmy had, I think, something like 4 or 5 steals in that game, and the Celtics had a bunch of turnovers, and they lost that game. Celtics came out the next game, blew them out by 25, and they really, really focused on limiting the turnovers. So only 9 turnovers in that game as a team, and Jimmy had 1 assist. Now his line is 1.5, so he could definitely get that. His defensive intensity, we all know, is nuts, right? But just,
the Celtics really do swing the ball around a lot too. So we try to get in and cut like dish out, just like Jimmy does, dish out for the corner threes. So Jimmy is playing those passing lanes to perfection. Sometimes it looks like the Celtics are just throwing it away, but it's literally the guy's in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Word. Okay. Let's should we do our own lotto?
Let's do one more lotto, yeah.
Let's do one more. All right. Well, the other lotto that we did was just basically the same parlay, but it was all the guys up.
Stepped up.
A couple stepped up, which I will post when we get out of here. All right, let's do one more. Let's do like we got the mush.
Oh, at the buzzer.
Always at the buzzer. Hey man, better late than never, right?
Absolutely.
We love it there. Is it still cloudy in San Diego, bro? Has the sun popped out for you?
Honestly, that picture that he has there is so iconic now. I remember us sitting at the fucking book in Vegas, and dude, after 4 days, it was March Madness. On that last day, we were all just sitting there like, I can't watch any more fucking college basketball. And that's exactly what we all look like right there.
I don't like watching college basketball, period. Much less that much of it. Bro, I'm bitch. I know, dude. I can't imagine. It's fucking in California and sunny San Diego and shit's cloudy. Boo. Well, thanks for being here, brother. We appreciate it as always. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's been fun as always, boys. It's been fun as always. All right, let's finish this bad boy with the to the moon guy. Where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? Do we go with Tatum 40 plus? Is Tatum just going to sell my absolute soul if he has a shit game today?
Why don't we diversify a little bit here?
That's a little bit. Yeah.
Why don't we diversify? I think Derek.
Why don't we
White,
do the Heat this time? Cover our asses a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe let me throw in a couple of Heat players. I do, like we said, Jimmy Butler double-double. I know we have that double-double two-teamer, but like we know a lot of people aren't going to take a fucking two-teamer, you know? But I don't hate Jimmy double-double or even his assist line at like 8, you know? Because if the Celtics do adjust as they should, he's still going to have to get involved, you know? And rebounding probably does that, but it's not going to be enough. Like he's still going to be their primary ball handler, right? He's going to get the most touches, and it's going to the entire offense is going to run through him, you know?
So I have a good one. So if we're going to go Heat side of things, I like this kind of ties in also with what you were just saying about Jimmy as well. Bam 25 plus is plus 300. He's actually hit his regular points line against the Celtics in I think 6 straight games, like over 17 and a half or over 18 and a half. But in those hits, I think 2 or 3 of them in the last 5 were 25 plus efforts. One of them was a 30 bomb.
28 and 30, and he had 23 in the one that I guess didn't hit 25. So he was really close in 3 of those games.
I like that. Let's start there for sure then.
Yeah.
25 plus that gets us going too with a nice plus 300-ish value depending on your book. And you know, he's going to flirt with it. He'll probably I like his regular points line too. It's just a straight play, but I'm trying to stay a little more on the C side of things just with the Celtics. But so 25 plus for Bam. That gets us going. I'd like the Butler 8 plus assists too. I feel like that kind of ties into what we're talking about here. Where I like also Derek White 3s, 3 plus. It's like plus, I think that's plus 300 as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's a good one too. Like I said earlier, 7 straight games against the Heat, he's had 2 plus, and I think 2 or 3 of them he had 3 plus. He had 3 in game 1. It's just a matter of if he knocks down the shots he takes.
Yeah.
What are the odds on that? So we got Bam 25 plus. Paul Lando Mush. I know. Goats in chat. We got goats in chat. And you, Chef. Don't forget yourself.
I can type now. The kids.
Fields. Rushing. Yards.
I'm putting Chef in the box. I've wanted to do this for so long. Putting Chef in the box.
In the penalty box, 2 minutes. All right. So if we do Bam 25 plus, Jimmy 8 plus assists, Derek White 3 plus 3s. You want to see something, Mush? Look on the screen, brother. Look on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Press the buttons with me, homie. Press the buttons.
If you're wondering what's covered up, it's Freddie Freeman, 5 plus bases.
Yeah, sorry. There you go. He knows baseball. I wonder if he likes those plays. Yeah, horny. Let's go. Chef, also, what do you think? Chef, what do you think about that Cubs play? It starts in like 7 minutes, but I didn't even ask you about that. But let's go. So I do like the 3. I like the steals ladder, but I do like the points that V was saying maybe about the fact that with the adjustments that the Celtics made could affect the amount of steals that Jimmy could get, but Jimmy's just on a Jimmy level right now.
And so also the Celtics team last season was a lot different. They're very guard heavy this year, you know, so it's not just like Tatum and Smart handling the ball. You got minutes with Brogdon handling the ball, White running the offense, you know, so even JB. So there's more chances with more guys handling the ball, 4 turnovers, right? This team is definitely not the same.
I also think it's the way that Mazzulla lets them run, like the coaching style as well. Like he allows them to make mistakes, which, you know, leads to more turnovers, but it allows a little more freedom, you know.
I think as an ex-point guard, he really is coaching the way he would want to be coached, where it's like, hey, the guy in charge is on the floor, not on the bench, right?
Because we saw it with the Nuggets yesterday. I was reading some tweets. You know, they called that timeout after the Nuggets kind of made a run. Right after the timeout, the Nuggets continued that run, 12-6 run after the timeout, you know? And then the Lakers kind of got it back together and took the lead at the end of that third quarter again. But it had nothing to do with the timeout. There was no timeout called in between those, you know? It's at the end of the day, coaches or whatever, it all depends on the players. You know, like even Doc Rivers, he got fired, but like it was Harden and Embiid that didn't show up in Game 7, right?
Yeah.
You can make whatever adjustments you want. If the players don't go out and execute those adjustments or execute the game plan, nothing means shit.
Word.
I said this to you yesterday, V. When we were talking in the group chat about Michael Malone. Like, I'd die on the hill for that guy. He's a great coach, man. And listening to him mic'd up in that game yesterday. I mean, first of all, the guy's got no voice. He sounds like Doc Rivers when he talks. But it was so funny hearing him scream on the sideline with the little voice that he had of like, it's the Western Conference Finals, Game 2. Go out there and show intensity. Like, how could you not get hyped up for that shit, man? Like, come on,
over.
I wanted to get out there and fucking hoop.
And his voice is not normally like that. That's the funniest part. Like, this guy's actually, I didn't even know that like, I guess maybe I haven't watched enough Nuggets games. I didn't know that he goes this crazy for his guys, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, he loves his guys.
You know,
really
I guess
does.
when I'm watching that team, my eyes are always kind of on Jokic, so it's hard to see what Mike Malone's doing on the sideline, but I would go to a war for that man. After that post-game press conference yesterday, I was pumped, you know, because coaches don't come out there and talk about the narratives and things like that, but he's like, yo, nobody gives a fuck about us, right?
Yep.
Like, nobody does. They were the favorites to win this series, and people thought they were going to lose both home games, you know?
Yeah. Like he said in that, I mean, it's a good clip. Go watch it. I think you retweeted it, V, and it's on your Twitter. Yeah, it's Michael Malone basically saying, yeah, you know, the Lakers are cool, but you know, we won the game twice. So, you know, go check us out. Yeah, Caleb Martin threes.
Yeah, I want to put the Martin threes in there for sure. I think
we were just talking about it.
Okay.
What odds was Bookie Dale giving you? Is he giving you minus 200 for that?
Because it was plus 130 for our friend Sports Better.
Plus
Stoney,
150.
150. You're right. Stoney, the lotto that we have done so far, we're about to do the moonshot, but the one that we did, which was the regular parlay as well, was Tatum 35 plus points, Rob Williams 10 plus rebounds, Marcus Smart 8 plus assists, and what was the fourth leg?
Brogdon plus threes. No,
Brogdon 3 plus threes. That's the spiced up regular parlay. The regular parlay is all those guys on the regular line. Yeah, Caleb Martin 3 plus 3. Should we throw that in this bad boy? In our moonshot guy?
I mean, yeah, fuck it. 3 threes for plus 355.
Did he hit?
Probably even higher on FanDuel.
Did he hit 3 last game? He must have. I think he did. I'm pretty sure. I can't look at too many things on my Wi-Fi situation, otherwise you'll lose me.
Just to catch you up, Bookie Dale is our friend Mush's offline offshore book, and the lines that because they can't gamble everywhere in
America
in the U.S. right?
Yeah, not every
some
state.
states. So California guys like Mush here have to use shit ass books with shit ass bookies and shit ass odds. Unfortunately,
dude, should we? Let's add. I like this. Let's add one more thing, and then let's call
3
it a night.
steals. Caleb 3 threes.
What's one more for the kiddos? One more.
Do we?
Derek White 3 plus threes.
I would not be opposed to Derek White.
We all did that. We all went like this.
Yeah. So let's go.
3 plus threes.
All right.
3 beards, 3 same looks. We got to do it.
All right.
We have to book it.
Because if it smacks, that clip is going to be electric.
Oh, God. And there's lots of threes in this, too. 23 points. Jimmy 3 steals. Caleb 3 threes. Derek White 3 threes. Watch it be plus 3,300. That would be so good. V, open the video. I sent you a video. Is it a video? Yeah, Stoney. I'll thank you. If you press the buttons for me, brother, we'll talk after. Okay. Yeah, he just texted you a video. Share it with. Can you share? He's mute. Oh,
Yo, I'm just gonna put this on the screen. Let me see how I can do this.
Yeah,
this is fucking hilarious.
You can do it because you're in StreamYard.
What do I? How do I share my screen?
If you go down to present, click present, and just click share your screen, and then you can pick the tab.
If it's it's not. Oh, here we go. Let me just open the video first. Not everybody can just see all my messages. Actually, it doesn't matter.
I mean, you can pick the tab. You don't have to share your entire screen if you want.
He sent it to me on iMessage.
On chat. On message, okay.
But why is it not?
Chef, I'll text it to you. You got time too, brother. The game doesn't start for another hour and a half, so you're good. Do you guys like when your Uber driver talks to you a lot, or are you more of like the chill in the back and not talk to the Uber driver type of person?
Oh, I hate when they talk. I'm just like, bro, this is a business transaction. We're not friends. We don't. I'm just like, let's
You make him sound like
real.
a whore.
Yeah,
shut up.
Dude.
I actually I took an Uber in. I'm chilling in the back. I took an Uber, in Oklahoma City. And the guy on so like a couple minutes before he arrived, he said, look at my profile. And so I read the profile and it said, first of all, I vape. Second of all, if you're alone, don't sit behind me. I was like, okay, fair enough. Third thing was, I'm very introverted and I usually play music and I don't like to talk to my riders. So don't take offense if I do that. And I was like, oh, sweet. Fair enough. That sounds good.
Perfect.
Literally, I get in, homies talked to me the entire trip. Granted, he was very nice. It was a chill conversation, but I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, why is this guy talking to me after he literally said he fucking hates talking to people? And I get to where we're going, and he was like, just to let you know, you're like the third person in my entire time with Uber that I've actually talked to the entire ride. You actually you just had like a nice energy about you, and I actually wanted to talk to you. So good job.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like, thanks, man. That's really nice. Thank you so much.
Jesus is very disarming.
Yes, I got in the back, and he was like, whoa.
Yeah. Am I dead?
Yeah. Did I die and go to Uber heaven? And B, are you struggling with the technology?
I am, man. I just can't get this to play. I don't know why. I do not.
Can you
know why.
just bring it up on your phone and like put it up on the screen?
Actually, yeah, I can do that. I'm
do it
capable of that much.
The struggles of live.
Do that. Yeah, I know. That's what happens. You turn it, pull it over. I feel like I'm talking to my grandma, showing her how to.
Yeah.
But I need to know who the fuck is Dale? Who's Dale?
Mush playing golf with his mom and Bookie Dale. This is the worst.
Jesus.
No. Did Bookie Dale take your money on the golf course too?
Mush, I hope you won some of your money back.
Jesus, man. Over under. How'd you shoot? Did you shoot well? Is Mush still here? He might have dipped. He does like the quick get ins and get outs.
Right. He got tired of waiting for me to play the video.
Oh no, he's here. Did she win? Did she fucking win for you? Did Mama Mush do the job? Did she do the damn job? All right, so Bam 23 plus. What am I doing? Oh, Jimmy 3+ steals. Caleb Martin 3+ threes. 3+ threes from Derek White. That's the moonshot guy. The regular parlay. I'll just say all these one more time. This is the last thing, and then we'll say our adioses, and we will let you guys enjoy the rest of your wonderful Friday. Yeah, here we go. I just want to read the rest of this story to get the rest of it. Oh God, fucking Dale. Fucking Dale. All right, so regular parlay. Jason Tatum over 29.5 points. Robert Williams over 6.5 rebounds. Is that the line we got? 6.5.
7.5.
Marcus Smart
7.5.
over
Yeah.
7.5. Sorry, 7.5. Over 7.5 rebounds. Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists, and Malcolm Brogdon over 1.5 threes. The slightly spicier version of our lotto is basically all of those guys, like just the next level up. Jason Tatum 35+ points, Rob Williams 10+ rebounds, Marcus Smart 8+ assists, and Malcolm Brogdon 3+ threes. And the third guy, the job doer, the Cancun sender. Bam Adebayo 23+ points, Jimmy Butler 3+ steals, Caleb Martin 3+ threes, and Derek White 3+ threes. Wow, that was hard for my brain. That was good. Bang, let's go.
And the other degenerate play of Smart double-double, Jimmy double-double.
Yes. Yes, yes.
That's the one right there.
That
is the one.
I will post all of these on Twitter as well.
I can't believe.
So SPJ, you running out a little bit delayed, or am I delayed?
No, it's probably a little development.
You're good. Go, just keep going.
But I was just gonna say I will post all these tickets on Twitter as well, just so because I know SPJ is having a hard time pushing the button, getting somebody to. So make sure you follow both of us. We'll put all of these up for everyone to see. Still got some time. Got an hour and a half before these games start, or this game, I should say, starts. But yeah, SPJ, anything you want to add?
No, just go follow all these awesome gentlemen. Thank you so much for being fantastic on this beautiful Friday. Am I lagging? Am I Walmart?
Oh, you're good.
I'm good now. Okay, I'm good now. Okay, go follow these fine gents at SukhBar4 on Twitter. Go follow VSauauce on Twitter, obviously, and go follow me at SweatPantJesus. We appreciate you guys stopping by for your all sauce team on this beautiful Friday. Come hang out with us every single Friday, talking ball, having fun. Come for the winners, stay for the vibes, as always.
Hell yeah.
We will. Yeah, V. I know you said you'll post the tickets. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I can't believe that I heard come out of your mouth for the degenerate gamblers. Let's get it. Let's absolutely go. Chad, everybody, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We could not do this without all of you. So thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the follows, as always. And thank you for betting news. Go to bettingnews.com. You can read my thoughts that we just talked about for a long time in written form on the website at bettingnews.com for this game tonight. You can go read more about horse racing tomorrow, the Preaknesses tomorrow, UFC tomorrow. And you can also come back tomorrow and listen to me, Stone Bets, and NZ, Walmart Mac Miller, talk about the slate tomorrow on your afternoon bet espresso at 12:30 Eastern. Gents, it's been fun. Let's do it again next Friday, eh?
Absolutely. Absolutely, SPJ. Can't wait.
Let's fucking get it. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Deuces.
Peace.
The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world. The fourth title in 8 years. The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
You running off the road, so get out the way. Push the pedal to the floor, blow them all away. Yeah, you see I'm getting close, I accelerate. Going faster than fast, hit the gas, lose control. I won't crash, running high. Put your money on the dash, throw the dice, lose control. I won't crash, running low. I won't crash, when you slow. I won't crash, running. Take. You running on the road, so get out the way. Push the